When we modified the island and took away the 4-place table extension, we had a problem with the ceiling light, the gas station light that always hung over the island that you've seen in other chapters. In this image, you can see that the light is off the end of the island, and if you walk around, you can almost hit your head on it. So that was going to have to be moved or something done with it. Now, if you remember back when I put the ceiling up, the ceiling is directly on the old ceiling, so there's no channel to run a new wire. So I looked on the internet, and there were several ways of doing it. One would be to put up a round medallion so that the end of the circle of the medallion is where the existing box is, and the center of the medallion is where the light is going to be. Well, we've got to move it a minimum of 14 inches. Therefore, the circle has to be 28 inches. That's way the hell too big for that ceiling. It's going to look goofy. The next thing would be to take a piece of the existing ceiling and cut it out and lay in the wire and try to patch it back in. I really didn't want to do that. I figured it would look like a mess. The other thing is take a new piece of the ceiling, route a channel in it, run the wire in that, and then what you're gonna see is a wooden bump leading over to the new position. Well, I wasn't keen on that either. So I came up with this idea, and you're either going to think it's genius or it's too industrial and it's ugly and I have no idea what I'm doing. Here is what I did. Here's the parts that I'm going to use. From left to right, you've got 3/8 threaded rod. Then you've got a street elbow, a 1/2-inch pipe clamp, a 3/8 inch mount for the threaded rod. Then if you move over, you've got a standard 1/2-inch elbow, then 2 brass screws, and finally a 12-inch piece of pipe. Now it's interesting, when I went to Home Depot, I looked at the pipes, and they had 36, 24, and 18 in 1/2-inch. But this 12-inch piece is not called 1/2-inch pipe. It's called a 1/2-inch nipple. So the nipples go out to 12 inches. You get beyond 12, then they're considered pipe. Interesting. But anyway, that's what they want to do. So, first thing I did was I took down the light assembly. And there you can see the box that I put up in the ceiling. In fact, you can also see that the ceiling has darkened because you can see the ring where the plate for the light used to be. The ceiling is going to get dark or darker over the years. So anyway, there's my mount plate and the black and white wires. So this 9x16 picture shows the relationship of the box to the island. Yes, I could push the island to the left and it would be perfectly centered. But then it would be farther away, it'd be another foot away from the kitchen sink, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But with the banquette and the table and the chairs are on the other side of the table, all of a sudden now you've pushed that across the kitchen, so you've got to walk way around to get from one side to the other. Not what we wanted to do. There is the down shaft of the light. On the left, you've got the plate that goes up on the ceiling. You got the 10-inch down rod, and you've got the base of the light. There's the end shot showing the wires coming out of the base plate. They're going to have to be lengthened. So here's what I'm proposing. You come out of the base plate that's on the ceiling with a 90-degree street elbow. It's male on one side, female on the other. Then you take your 12-inch piece of pipe, nipple. It's not a piece of pipe. Then out at the far end, you have the pinch bracket. It's going to support it and be screwed to the ceiling. Then you've got a 90-degree elbow, and your existing down rod and the light. So what that's going to do is it's going to move the light over 12 inches. I needed 14. I didn't want to get an 18 and wait around and try to find somebody that was competent at Home Depot to cut it and thread it to 14 inches. I don't think 2 inches is going to matter all that much. Now at this point we have extended the wires. Actually, they're new ones. We ran them through the individual pieces. I've just got to strip them. And the steel, or black iron actually, was cleaned with alcohol, and then we used Rust-Oleum, what is it, metallic dark bronze. That's what we did for all the paint on every one of our lights in the kitchen. So I've just got to strip that and then see about installing it. It may actually work. Well, at this point I've got the two wires hooked to the wires coming out of the box that goes to my X10 relay. And now it's just a matter of putting the screws in and then aligning it over the island. Well, there we've got the plate screwed onto the electrical box. And I've just got to put the support and then put the bottom of the light back on. Now to get a perspective, you'll see where the light used to be because of the extension on the island that we removed, and now it is pretty much over the center of the island. It's a little bit shy. I needed 14 inches, but the only piece of pipe I could find was 12. I wasn't going to buy an 18 and try to get somebody to cut it down to 14, so for 2 inches it isn't going to much matter, but it's a lot better than it was. And with the brace installed, pull back, there it is, and it is rock solid. Now because I had pre-measured the 3/8 threaded rod, I knew exactly how much it was going to hang down, so it was just a matter of putting it together. So there it is. It is now over the island, and then if I hit my X10 remote, let there be light. And that's what I've got. And then I've just got my X10 switch right here, and it's off. So I think it was worth the effort. Now it's possible that that light is now a touch too low because it's now about 2 inches lower than it was, but I can always go ahead and shorten that down pipe if I want to.